All right, members of the culture. I'm Ra, and you are here. Welcome in to the greatest podcast that nobody officially knows about yet. Catch the Fade podcast. And after a long time, I can finally say I am delivering on one of our big surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, here live in the studio, we got my main man, Big Joe, in the house.
What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm glad to be here.
I'm honored, man. Thank you for coming on to catch the fade, and we're gonna catch the fade about a few things.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just gonna ask you a few questions because I feel like we've been around the block when it comes to collecting, and I think for someone that's new, that's coming in, that's watching this, is probably gonna be wondering some of these questions. So I guess the first thing I'd ask is they know about as far as me and my journey,
Right,
why I collect. Why do you collect?
man. I feel like there's a big difference between when I was getting toys as a child and then now, where I call myself a collector.
Okay.
I don't necessarily collect for nostalgia. I told you my origin story a
Hmm.
little bit. Um, a friend and I, we were in high school, and McFarlane was putting out some pretty cool build a figures, and that's where we kind of got entranced with the whole toy hunt aspect of the thing.
Right.
So I remember distinctly going from Target to Target all over town looking for these figures. And that dopamine that you got when we got all those figures, we broke them out of the plastic and we put that big old bane together. I felt like, yeah, I can see myself doing this. And I started posing them around. And now it's like you and I both have figures from all the different universes. And I started just being enamored with, wow, I can have my Marvel fig. Like we've got Battle Toads with Doctor Doom. You couldn't do that on the page; the rights wouldn't allow for it. But you
Right.
can buy the physical thing. It's a really that's what got me into it. Was there's all these characters that I like, I can buy them and pose them and tell my own stories with them. And they make toys a lot better now than they did when I was a kid. So
Yeah, it's definitely a fact there.
there's like the collectability. I don't collect for resale. I just collect to display characters that I enjoy. These aren't like Doctor Doom is not a real person. I don't really know if I want to hang out with Doctor Doom. But I like Doctor Doom and this is a cool figure. And I like having the ability to have Doctor Doom hang out with Reed Richards or have Doctor Doom hang out with the Hulk and such and so forth. And there's a multiversity to it, like my favorite Doctor Doom figure may be different than yours.
Right.
And we can have that difference in opinion. The community aspect is what kept me in the collecting. Because after I started getting into it, I was like, wow, other people feel the same way as me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess when you kind of touched on it, like as terms of, is there any certain thing you collect, or do you just kind of collect everything?
I feel like for a while I tried to collect everything, and that got very difficult just financially. It's hard to keep up with all the new releases we're getting and the way the prices of toys are going. Like we were talking about that Megatron earlier. I found that Megatron in the wild as well, and I almost pulled the trigger, but what is it retail for? Like 65, something like that.
Depends on where you go, 55
Yeah.
to 65 bucks.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, as much as I love Megatron, I'll have to wait. Maybe somebody will get me it for Christmas. But right now, I mostly collect Marvel Legends. That's my main thing. I love Marvel Legends because I used to collect the Marvel Universe figures,
Right.
the 3 and 7.5 scale. Um, but as I've grown and I just, when I was littler, those were the perfect size because my hands were smaller. But now my hands are bigger, and I want you know, you can really pose these figures into some pretty dynamic. Maybe Doom isn't the best example because he's got his rubber skirt in the way, but you can pose these figures and the amount of detail. Like this particular Doom has like the rockets on the back where you could even put flame effects in there. Comes with 3 different heads. It's just all about options, and that's why I prefer Marvel Legends over other brands because Marvel's my favorite. But I collect McFarlane figures too. I like the DC Multiverse line, and I even have some of the higher end. We talked about earlier, Hot Toys, Mayfex, stuff like that. I have a few Mayfex figures. One of them was a gift. One of them I purchased for myself. But Legends is the only line I'm actively like, oh, they announced this. Maybe I'll add that to cart kind of line.
That makes sense. And it's, it's all about diversity when it comes to, when it comes, and that's me. You can collect anything. I collect I can't even say primarily because you all can't see. Obviously, Joe can see around the room,
I have
and
the full
can't.
360.
You guys can't see it, but those of you that have seen on the screen, you guys know I've done Storm and Jada and Marvel Legends and DC and Premium DNA and now Hot Toys. I mean, I collect what speaks to me and what works for me. I can't say for everybody else. A figure may hit different,
Yeah.
but we can all collect some of the same stuff. And just because someone has a hot toy and another person has a Funko Pop, they both collect.
We're all in it for the same reason. We love this stuff, and having a physical manifestation of, again, these are pretend things. It's nice. Like, you really love Wolverine and Galactus, and so do
Man,
I. And we have different Wolverine and Galactus, but we both have the same one of that. But it's just cool to see. You could have a hot toy or a Funko Pop, and you can love it the same. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't make you happy. And I feel like there's a whole, people are like, how do I get into collecting? There's the FOMO of, am I going to do it wrong? It doesn't matter what you do. You can buy a CT toy or you can buy a Mafex, right? I love the CT toys. I don't care that they're knockoffs. You know what? That looks like Wolverine to me. And Raw, are you able to pose that figure and feel good about it?
absolutely.
That's what matters. Same with that hot toy. It's the same character. It's the same universe. It's just about what your wants and needs are. There's some people that can't afford a hot toy.
Right.
And there's brands like So Toys and all these other, they make 1/6 scale figures. They don't have the licensure, so it is a bootleg. People are strongly against bootlegs. Some people are totally for it. You know what I feel? If you enjoy it, buy it. It doesn't matter if it's fake. As long as you enjoy. I have some fake figures,
It's
but
not.
I enjoy them.
It's not destroying the hobby. Let me be
Yeah.
clear on that. I know there's some of you that are going to watch this and go, "How could you say that? It's destroying the hobby." It's not. It's not.
It might help people get into the hobby. It makes it less daunting.
And what? So I think we touched on this earlier, but obviously you guys haven't seen it. What? And shout out to my man Clever's Multiverse. Always shout that man out for doing big things. He brought this up. How do you collect? What type of collector are you?
Well, we talked about the 3 types of collectors earlier. And now that, as I've kind of, like, we talked about, like, I did the whole I'm sober from buying toys thing, because y'all, I would walk into a store and right and left buy everything that I knew was a new release. It didn't matter if I needed it on my shelf. I would just buy it. And let's be honest, as adults, we got bills to pay. And I was like, man, this toy collecting thing is becoming a little bit of a burden. And we talked about the whole being unhappy collecting thing too.
Yeah.
Some of us can feel, whether it's, trying to keep up with other things, comparing ourselves to others. It, kind of got to a point where I was just buying stuff to prove to other people that I could find it. And then I realized, man, my heart's in the wrong place. So I took a break, and now we're back. And to get to the question you asked me, I collect, what figures I see that I feel like are going to make my shelf come alive. What figures am I going to see that, like, man, oh, this version of War Machine is real neat. I got to pick him up because the one I have doesn't scratch the same itch. You know, if I'm out because, like I said to you before we went live,
Right.
I have these Diamond Select FF figures. They're my favorite team. I have the Marvel Legends wave that just came out for the film, but for this classic comic look, these Diamond Select figures, I'm sad they're not going to be making them anymore. Because as a fan, I think they're great. They really cover all the bases, and they come with a lot of accessories. So I just look out there for, with new releases, for instance. I think, like, the Dragon Man's a great example. That Dragon Man got announced. I saw it. I haven't ordered it myself yet, but after we've been messing around with it for a little bit today, I will definitely be picking up that figure next time a nice opportunity comes up.
I mean, so it's and it's collecting is and we talked about those archetypes of like being completionist and someone that's an archivist that has everything, and we're it's kind of and then the hunter. Everybody, no matter which one you are, I think you and I talked about it. We talked about that dopamine hit from hunting,
Hmm.
and that's something that shout out to Clever said that dopamine hit. Even though like now we can go online and the average collector nowadays, there's a new dopamine hit. I didn't think it would be this way, but sometimes most collectors, I know I have, and maybe you have, we get a dopamine hit from checking our phone and seeing that FedEx has your package out for delivery,
Oh,
UPS
I'm
has it,
that guy,
or when
man.
that truck comes up and you hear them outside and you're going through your window. Now that's a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
It is, and sometimes we get more boxes to our house than maybe the stores do,
Yeah.
depending on who the collector is. But there's something, as he said, there's something that's said about that feeling of finding something in the wild, especially if you weren't looking for it. Like if you're just out there
Yeah.
and you just happen to be you're just shopping, right? You're in a Target and you're shopping. Of course, we're gonna always gravitate over to the toys, but
Right.
we made that time just let me just look over here, and then you're just sitting there and all of a sudden I'm just going to take Hulk, Maximum Hulk, for instance,
Yeah.
and this is sitting on the shelf, right?
That's how it happened for me with that figure.
And it's in the wild, and you're just like, oh my god, I cannot believe this is here, and you got to grab it, right? There's a that dopamine hit.
There's nothing like it. I was at GameStop when I found my version of that figure, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't 100% sure. I was on the fence. Am I gonna pick this Hulk up? We've all seen the controversy about the Maximum Hulk and the Maximum figures in general.
Joe, yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, like you said, I did not have a green Hulk. It had 3 head sculpts. It came with a ton of effects, and at the price point, it was cheaper than getting it shipped. So I bit the bullet and I bought it, and I'm really happy with how he looks. He really brings out my Avengers shelf looks so much better with a proper green Hulk, and he's posable, you can really do a lot with that figure. And it felt good to again find it in the wild. I didn't pre-order it. I love pre-ordering
Mhm.
stuff, but I figured it's fun when you find it in the wild, especially if you're not out. Because I've done the whole thing where I've hopped in the car on an off day and I've gone from store to store, and that's when I don't find anything. When I find the stuff
When
I'm
I'm
looking
not
for when I'm not looking
looking
for
for
it,
it.
and that's how that happened with that exact figure.
That feeling, the hunt, it's like you said, the hunt of that feeling, you can't really replicate. You can't really replicate it.
Yeah,
It's a rush to find it, and I mean it's even, and to me, like, it's more amplified if you were looking for it,
yeah,
but it just hits different when you go out and you just say, hey man, I'm just here, I came here to buy some navel oranges,
yeah.
and I leave with a War Machine and Omega Red,
2-pack.
and I just came here for some oranges. So that's different. Now, if you're a collector, I would say I've already done. You've seen countless videos where in the past where people have said something. I did 10 things I wish I knew
Right.
before I started collecting. But I'll just ask, and you can name more than three if you wanted to.
Sure.
What would be 3 things that you would tell a potential or a new collector that's thinking about jumping into the hobby? If this is what they're gonna do, but what are the do's and don'ts? So just 3 things, 3 or more. What would you give?
Couple pointers. Let's see. First out, welcome into the community, because it is a community. The community aspect is what makes this hobby fun. Having friends where we just talk toys, we just talk about all these things that we love, and that's so nice to like. That's a whole other social level that I didn't know was out there. Second of all, I'd say don't compare yourself to others too much. Nobody's shelf's going to be the same. Your friend or enemy might have the figure that you want most, and it's okay to want that figure, but don't get jealous or feel like your collection isn't good because you don't have Hot Toys, or oh, I don't have any Mayfix figures. I don't have a good collection. Well, do you have characters that you like, and do those figures make you happy? That's all that really matters. So I'd say like just keep it. Make sure that you keep it fun for yourself. Don't forget, this is supposed to be a fun hobby. You are
Right.
spending your money that you could spend on food or rent. You know, I don't really have the disposable income, so when I buy toys, it impacts my personal economy.
Right.
But I do it because what's a figure? Well, I brought some. Right when I bought this thing figure, I wasn't exactly swimming in cash, but I knew that the Walgreens Marvel Legends exclusive, Fantastic Four Way was one I was wanting to get into, and when I got a opportunity to get it at a convention, I took that opportunity. And as a fan of the thing, it's a great figure. Come with a couple heads, some different hands. We were talking about the big guys don't get much posability. For a bigger figure, this guy, I'm really comfortable with the articulation. Um, so collect what you love. Not all of us are Marvel or DC fans. You might be into history. Well, guess what? They have history action figures. They have action figures for just about everything you can think of at this point. So just collect what you like. And if you feel lost, you're not trying to catch up with anybody. Just do it for yourself. Don't ever let this hobby become, because it happened for me. I just don't want this to happen for other people. a burden. It shouldn't be a thing where you're like, oh man, like I don't have this whole Secret Wars Marvel Legends wave on the card. I'm not a good collector. I remember I couldn't find that Captain America. You know the one I'm talking about. I couldn't find him anywhere. And I was like, man, I'm just like, I've been hunting for this figure for so long. You want to know where I found him? In the place I least expected it. I was going to GameStop to look around for Transformers. There he was. You know, be patient. That's the last pointer I'd say is like the Dragon Man figure that we're talking about today. I was so close to being so upset about not being able to pre-order him.
Hulk rings a bell.
And I was, you know, I knew I was going to love that figure. I knew it was going to be so cool. And I did not pre-order it. I didn't buy it aftermarket. But I know that one day I will buy that figure. The same thing with the She-Hulk Fantastic Four figure that just came out that I know you and I both have now.
Right.
I didn't pre-order it, but I went to Must Love Toys.
Shout out
on a road trip. Yeah, that's
shout out Destry and crew.
One of the best toy stores I've ever been to in my life, and every time I go in there, it's like being a little kid. And I walked in there, my friend Ian, it was his birthday. We went down there. We're both collectors. We wanted to treat ourselves. And I walk in, the first thing I see on the left is that She-Hulk figure at a very fair price. And I had to pick it up. And I didn't have to pay shipping or handling either. So I was very happy with that.
That's definitely a win. Shout out to Must Love Games and Toys there in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And shout out to our newest gym around here, my man Joaquin at Memphis Toy Exchange. Just opened up over there. Definitely big shout out to him. He's a good guy, treasure to the community. I'm going to get by there, I promise, and check you out. Same thing with Must Love Toys and Games. It's going to be a road trip, but I'll do it
because it's worth it.
Because it ties into what he said there. It's about that community and it's about a culture, which you guys always hear me talk about. My big thing, you know, and I said it on my video before. One of the number one advice that I could give that I wish I knew when I first started is you have to know that it's not a marathon and it's not a sprint. It is a never-ending race. Yeah. That is what it is. I wish I knew it when I started because I promise you, the minute that let me give you an example. We're Dragon Man. We're just talking about it, right? Over a year ago. We're talking about Dragon Man. And while this figure is awesome and we're sitting here, if you don't think that if you've been paying any attention, right? If you've been paying any attention, what has Hasbro done since then? We're already on the Mephisto, baby. Who comes out next year? Made to order. Yep. We're already on the Mephisto. And I'm gonna tell you this now. By the time before Mephisto gets here, I promise you, they're gonna have something else. That Hasbro's gonna have something else to cook, and they already have it. They just haven't told us what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll release it at the next big convention or something like that.
They'll say, "Hey, our next big made-to-order item is gonna be this." So I wish in starting out that I had known that because, and again, Clever said this too. One of the biggest lies collectors tell ourselves all the time is,
"My last one.
It's my last one. When I complete this wave, I'm done. When I get this figure and it's in the wave, I'm done." And then we're lying. We know we're lying to ourselves.
Because they are going to announce something, and that's for you and me. I know, give it 3 weeks, we'll be texting each other. Hey, man, Tom McFarlane just announced this new figure. I was done with DC, but I'm back. Oh, Marvel Legends just made this. It's going to happen to both of us. And that's why I never say I'm done collecting this. Because
there's always going to be something.
The multiverse is always growing. They're always adding new characters for us to put on our shelves. So
I wish I had known that when I started. And I don't know if when I first started, if I was really per se collecting, if I called it that. But once I recognized that I was actually doing it, I still thought, me being naive, somehow I was like, you know what? There's an end in sight. That's it. Once they make this, that's it. No, not at all. They're gonna say, oh, really? So we're gonna give you this version of Doctor Doom that you've never seen before. And you think about it. We got comic lines, movie lines. We talked about it, right? We talked about it. This guy, as Joe just so eloquently told you earlier, this is Logan, right? From the X-Men. This is the comic guy. But there's another whole line of toys dedicated to our man Hugh Jackman. The hot toy that's really people are reviewing really good, and I think it's awesome. And it's that one, and that's the MCU one. So it's never ending. So don't think that when you get into this, oh, all I need is this and I'm done. You might start out thinking that, but trust me, could I say it's never happened? Sure, there might be 1% of us
Yeah.
that have gotten into it and said, this is all I wanted and that's it. But 99, the other 99% have shells that,
Yeah.
that prove the opposite.
Yep.
Because we start out
Same
and we
here.
say, oh, I'm just going to collect X-Men. Well, hell, how many X-Men are there? That alone is
That
going to
one
take you a while.
universe has so many characters, and they're not even done making all the figures
And right, and you still so you've got that, and then you might say, well, let me do DC. How many versions of Batman have we seen? How many Wolverines, Captain Americas, Phoenixes? Like I can go on and on and
There's like
on.
60 years of variations on those characters that they're just going to keep pumping up.
So just know that it's not a marathon or a sprint. To his point, take your time. And I know you might look and shout out to channels I watch like Kyle Peterson and Startimus Prime, but there aren't that many of them out there that have those massive collections like that.
It's rough.
Compared to I think the level of that many of them versus I call us regular everyday Joes, no pun intended, aren't going to have those kind of massive, like where you have 3 figure rooms like Kyle Peterson has,
Yeah.
or where Shartimus can't sneeze without bumping
Knocking
into a
over a
figure,
figure.
without
Yeah.
knocking over a figure, right? So don't compare yourselves because those are 2 different situations, right? Everybody's different. They might be able to get everything. I see when I go and I look at, and I'll watch Kyle Peterson's videos and I'll
Right.
say, man, his toy hunt was great. His toy hunt and my toy hunt ain't set up the same.
Nope.
Like, I might come to your point. I might come home and say, all right, man, I got this Game Reverse Venom, this Maximum Hulk, man. It was a good week. And,
Yeah.
and for most of us, yeah, to Joe's point, because of the prices, that's right. That's a good. Whereas you look at him and he's looking over 15 boxes.
And he's got everything that came out in the last 3 months.
And
We can't afford to do that.
no, and not only that, he's connected where he's got people that can find things. To his point, because you're not going to find everything, and that remember, don't let FOMO. I guess if there's another thing, don't let FOMO drive you crazy. That would be the other thing I'd say strongly.
Yeah.
FOMO's real. People will tell you it's fake. They're lying to you and they're lying to themselves. FOMO is a real thing. Absolutely, it happened with Dragon Man. It's probably happened with Maximum Hope. It's happened with the Walgreens figure. It's happened with everything, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I can't get. And the scarcer something appears to be, the more people are willing to pay for it. Don't think that these companies don't know it, but
They do.
that would be what I would tell you. I also want to touch on something. You and I did this, and I know they're listening.
Yeah.
So if you're out here, Jorge Cuevo, I'm gonna say it for you. There's a difference between resellers and scalpers. So, how exactly do you feel? We talked about it, but
Right.
just how do you feel about the whole reselling versus scalping thing?
Well, for the folks at home that weren't a part of our earlier conversation, there is a fine line between those two groups, and the scalpers is as we do it on this show. Um, it's a very particular community that they sign up for when they're doing that. When they wait in line all day at these retail stores for whatever it is, the latest Pokemon, Marvel, whatever it is they're looking for, they might love the thing, but they're only in it to resell it. And I can totally understand it. It's a hustle. And if we know anything, we're from Memphis, where we know about hustle, man. You got to grit and grind. But yeah, I don't know. The scalpers tend to irk me the wrong way. Now resellers, I don't really have a problem with because that's how people like me can find the figures that aren't in our retail stores. That aren't showing up. Um, do a quick search online, and maybe I can find it. It might be at a little bit of an upcharge, but it's not going to be 40% over retail, which tends to be the case with a lot of sealed product. Like if we look at the Pokemon card market, totally has skyrocketed. And you go to these big box stores like Walmart or Target and such and so forth, and you see guys in lines with everything Pokemon they could fit into their arms, and they're getting in line, and they're not about to crack those packs and play with them. They're about to go list them online, Facebook Marketplace, and I get it. I don't want to hate on it because some people got to make money. I get it, but the resellers I can respect a little bit more because I've definitely been out in the wild, seen two of something, and been like, I don't know if this counts, but I've seen like that Captain America I mentioned. There were two. I picked up one for myself, and I gave the other one to a friend. Like he paid me for it. He paid me back what I paid for it. But so I don't know. Would that be considered reselling?
No, that's just more or less just doing a favor. And
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with resellers either. You guys know I've talked about it. It's a hustle, and I'm cool with that, right? But the difference is, and then we said this in earlier conversation, is that all right, a reseller comes into a store, and I'm only using this figure because it's in front of me.
Right.
Sees maximum hope, sees 10 of them on the shelf. Reseller says, "Well, I'm gonna buy 4. I'm gonna resell all of them, make me a little money. Let's say it's $60. I'm gonna resell them for 90. Make a little bit of a profit, right?
Right.
All right. I get it. A scalper, those 10 ain't making it. Scalper, I'm getting all 10 of these. Those are going online, $150
A pop.
a pop. Pay me. Those are the people I don't like. Okay.
Because they take the fun out of the hobby. Because then when I want to walk into that GameStop that one day and I saw that one Maximum Hulk, it wouldn't have been there. It makes it tricky because it interrupts the flow of the hobby, which I think there is kind of an ebb and flow to it all, where it's like a new release comes out, it's hard to find this one figure. We have Facebook groups in our community where we keep each other informed on what's out there, and then there's the kind of the fun. That's the fun of the hunt, because you see, we'll have people who sound the alarms. This figure is at Walmart. We all descend upon the Walmart. Who's going to get to it first? And was it a reseller? Because oftentimes, I think most people in the community, we're here to open the toy, to display it. Some people prefer to not open it, and that's totally fine. But I'm sure there are people lurking who are like, I know this is going for good on eBay. Let me get down so I can pay $24 and flip it for a 60. Because people do it. People do it, and that feels like scalping to me.
It is. It is.
And it just makes it not fun. But then if you wait, that's where the being patient part comes in. If you wait, you don't have to pay that $150 that you see online, because maybe you'll walk into a store one day and not expect to find that $70 figure, and it will be there. You never know. Some of the distribution of these things too. A figure will come out like this Fantastic Four wave. It will hit all the stores. You'll think you won't see another one again. 2-3 months after the movie comes out, you might walk into a shop and see that figure right there and get to pay that sweet $24.99. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the hunt. For the record, that is just the thing. I still have the rest of the way to go, and it will happen in time.
I know you can. If I can do it, you can do it.
See, the everyman mentality here. That's what I tell you. We're regular, and again, it sounds like I'm making a pun by saying it.
We're average
Joes, but it's the truth. In the case of Dragon Man, I've said this before, and this was not a me being team scalper on their side. There was this big argument online where these guys were saying, and it's the truth. They say, hey, you can't scalp a made to order product. I mean, could you resell it for an absurd amount of money? Yeah, which is still scalping. So yeah, but in the traditional sense of what I just told you earlier, like to Joe's point, where a Pokemon guy comes in, the reason if you go in a Target, I don't know if Walmart's still, I know Target and other places where you see those limits, 2 per customer. There's a reason. It's because of the scalpers that come in and buy everything because they want to control the market. Where instead of you coming in and buying, I'll just say Dragon Man for $84.99, you got to pay $200 because the only place you can get it from is this doggone scalper that bought all of it.
Yeah.
But in the case of Dragon Man, Hasbro said if you order it, we'll make it. It's hard. That means that even if a scalper buys 100, can that scalper on face value, can that scalper stop Joe or me from purchasing one? No. We have the same. We pre-order, cost 0. He can have his 100. I don't care if he can take those 100 and fill them up in a pool, roll around naked in them, whatever he wants to do.
If that's what he wants to do.
He's not stopping me from getting the one that I wanted. So in that regard, yeah, I don't think you can scalp made to order products. And some people aren't a fan of that system. I'm all for it because I put a post up that warned people, hey, if you want this Sentinel, order it now. If you want Mephisto for a whole month,
you should have ordered it.
Even Hasbro Post was putting it out, sending it to people in Facebook and everywhere else. Hey, Mephisto closes on the 26th. Go ahead and pre-order it now. So sometime next, and I told somebody, I said, look, I get it. You say, hey man, I don't have $80 right now. Will you have it in almost a year? I don't know. Guess what? Guess what? That is a year from you. Let's say your name is Mike. That's 2026 Mike's problem. That's not 2025 Mike's problem. Yeah. So you should order the figure because it costs you nothing.
or it costs you nothing now, and then just plan for always keeping that $84.99 in your bank account, and you'll be totally golden.
You'll be
I
fine.
can't speak to that though because I did not pre-order Dragon Man. I did not pre-order Mephisto because I was going into the mindset of like, if I'm meant to own this thing, I'll find it in a natural way. That's what happened with Galactus, because obviously I wasn't even into collecting when that figure came out. I thought I would never, ever, ever be able to own that figure, and then it showed up one day, Facebook Marketplace, at a good deal. I bought it, and also this is a tip too. After you get your grail of collecting, you're not going to stop, because that was my grail. I was like, when I have that, I remember thinking I had a Spider-Man hot toy. When I got that, I was like, I'm done collecting. I have the ultimate toy.
Doesn't get better than this.
Doesn't get better than this. Well, I'll tell you what, it does get better. Getting more stuff, because that's how it is, you know. And another important thing about the hobby, and we all do it, it's okay to buy something, enjoy it for a while, and be like, you know what, I love this figure, you know, but I'm ready to let it go. And you can put that money back into the hobby, because this is a hobby. This is a passion. This is, some people prefer to play card games like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. Some people like to play tabletop war games. We like to buy action figures, and then there's no rule book for this hobby. We all do it different. Some people put them on the wall like a retail setting. Some people pose them. Some people, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I play with them. I tell little stories in my figures. As childish as it seems, I enjoy it. It's that escape to childhood. It's that escape to, wow, I have these figures and I'm telling my own story. That's a power, because I can't draw. I'm not gifted like that. I couldn't make
Me either.
my own story if I wanted to. But I can buy these figures of characters that I enjoy. And look, the thing is hanging out with all the Street Fighter people. See how easy that was? That's what I love about this hobby too. It's just a physical reminder of the thing that I already really like.
Yeah, you see, so it's and also remember that I won't say this is not for kids, but because people get on me about this, but I'm just being completely honest, especially with these prices. Ladies and gentlemen, these toy companies are not stupid. Hasbro, McFarlane, Super 7, NECA, they know for a fact that they are not selling this stuff to kids.
It's
They,
for us.
it's for adults. It's adults. When you go to collections and you go Google right now, you just go Google Marvel collection, Marvel Legends collection on YouTube. I guarantee you, if you see 50 videos, two of them might be kids. 48 are gonna be a grown man, a grown woman, or them together, some combination. It's
Yeah.
gonna be an adult. Okay, they even came up with the term collectible, right? They even came up with that. Once upon a time, collectibles used to mean something that was just really, really rare. It didn't mean this line and this hobby. Now, these things, even though they're action figures,
They're collectible.
they're called collectibles, right? And they, because let's be honest, how many 8-year-olds do you know that are walking up and going, "Man, I've got my allowance. I can't wait to drop $60 on this Maximum Hulk."
And
Probably
what
not.
parent is itching to spend $84 on a figure, or like how much, like in Megatron was 50, 55,
Yep.
something like that? Man, I know my parents would not have bought me a Transformer at that price. Who's bought all my Transformers recently? Myself.
You're not
You
giving
know?
that to a kid
Yeah.
because you might give a kid a figure that's $5, but you're
Yeah.
not giving them Maximum Hulk or Gamer vs. Venom or Dragon Man. Or to this point, as much as I love Transformers, and I do, when I watch Transformers, I made up a very good point. Brought up a very good point rather. This is Megatron. Those of you that watched, you know who that is, right? This is from a movie that's from the 80s. The majority of these kids that are out here now have no connection to this. They never saw it. Never saw the OG show. They never saw
Yeah.
the movie. They don't know. So we know by them doing that, that is nostalgia. They are aiming for adults. 100. They won't. They just won't come
That's why
out and
they
say it.
slap that Transformers the movie logo on there. You're gonna remember that. I grew up with that movie too. Now maybe a little bit later, but I have the same emotional attachment to that film, especially like we got the Devastator right next to it, right? I see Devastator. All I can think about is that scene. We were in here before we went live, just talking about the movie. We basically ran the whole plot, didn't we?
Yep.
We were doing the voices and everything too.
Yeah.
Two grown men up here doing cartoon voices because we enjoy that story so much that these physical like artifacts
Hmm.
They immortalize that story, and then you can take your Devastator and you can put them together, and you can feel like you're in that one moment in the show, one moment in the movie that we've always enjoyed and look back on with fondness.
Yeah, it's while there are kids in the hobby, this hobby's for everybody. Not, I feel like it's very inclusive. You're not given. I'm just going to give an example because he's here. You're not giving Grimlock, who is, and I got to look again to tell you the steps, but I want to say 30.
I was gonna say,
30. You're not giving this to a 5-year-old child. This has like 30 steps to transform. Not to mention you don't want to break it
yeah.
because he's $60.
And that's why my dad wouldn't let me get Transformers as a kid, because I would break them in the car. And that's one thing, to that point, just a quick sidebar. Transformers is one of the few brands that I see out there. They make toys for, you know, 4 to 5 year old kids. They make toys that are a little bit more advanced, and then they make these, which are very clearly aimed at a adult collector market. And we collect for different reasons. Like I said, some people collect for nostalgia. Some people collect because they want to make a buck. Some people collect because they need a new hobby. And I think that's because collecting is such a great hobby to get into, because you can start small. You can
Hmm.
start with a small miniature figure and said, I like collecting. And that can turn into any wave, any series. There's so many things. If you can name it, there's probably an action figure or statue of it.
That's the truth. That's true. I definitely want to mention covering because here on the channel we talk about everything: movies, music, pro wrestling, everything. And I know that there's someone out there that's going to see this. My man Brandon, you know who he is, and Brandon's going to ask this question. Well, I mean, he's already convinced, and he's wrong. But just for the record, he's wrong. But what did you think of Fantastic Four?
Oh, movie?
Yes.
I loved it, man. I've been waiting for it for so long. Um, is there anything particular you want me to say about it?
Is there? How do you feel about Galactus? How they did him in the movie and the character as a whole?
I mean, I feel like, as you know, obviously my relationship with the Fantastic Four goes back to being a kid. Obviously, the '90s cartoon was where I was introduced to all those stories. And as I got older, I started to delve into comics, and Galactus is one of the titular. Just he's up there with Doom. Like he's synonymous with the four. So I think their choice to put him in the film and have him be the first baddie we see is great. And maybe using the word baddie isn't the best, because I think the Silver Surfer says it in the film, is that he is as essential as the stars to space. And it's something to think about in terms of the Marvel cosmology and the way that remember, it's a fictional universe, y'all. The way that their system works is that they have Galactus, who is a living being, and yes, he lives off of the life force of other planets. So he sends the Silver
Yeah.
Surfer. In this case, I like that they went the Shalabal variant, because we are in a different universe than the other MCU films, Universe 818 opposed to 616, which was an homage to Jack Kirby's birthday. Sorry, 828.
828. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed everything from the casting to the costume design to the scenes that he was in. I mean, you saw the film. That part where they got full space adventure on us, and we were flying towards Galactus, and the music got all Star Wars. Oh my gosh, I was loving it. And then jump to maybe 45 minutes later, and you have like Godzilla-sized Galactus stomping through New York City. All of it worked. And it's at the end of the day, it's a story about family, it's a story about perseverance, and it's a story about overcoming something that you know you can't stop Galactus, but you
Right.
can work together. And then what ended up happening, spoiler alert, because this movie came out like a couple months ago, y'all,
Yeah.
sorry. But when Shala Ball sacrifices herself at the end, you see that it's a story about growth too, because she was this,
Cold.
cold, I mean, what did she kept saying? Die with yours over and over again. Like, she's pretty cold. And then she saw, like, you know what? I should spare these people, but it's too late now. I've led Galactus right to him. I've basically served him up on a silver platter. And then, of course, there's all the shenanigans with the swapping the baby for the fake baby thing. that makes it. I mean, it was a great action sequence. Seeing Reed Richards in that way, we'd never seen it.
Oh man,
Like, it was just a great film. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I mean, I've always said that. I believe in admitting. Hey, I think the term now they say is stan. I was a Galactus stan or a mark or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
So I was gonna already cheer as long as Galactus was done right and justice was given to him.
and he wasn't a
And
cloud.
he wasn't a cloud or something like that, something goofy. First of all, they nailed, like I said, casting was great throughout the film. I think they got everybody right. I think that Ralph Ineson did an amazing job as Galactus. The voice was
His
perfect.
voice is just
I mean,
booming.
he was
Yeah,
he was, and my seat was rumbling. I saw it in IMAX. I thought he was fantastic the way he was there. And I want to make sure, Brandon, he's not a villain. He's a force of nature. People,
as essential as the stars.
I have to tell you that the way he looks at things, Ralph Ineson gave a quote during an interview, and and it makes perfect sense. When the thoughts of a being, not sure, it's unfortunate if he comes to a planet to consume the life energy of it. It's unfortunate, but you have to understand you're going to call him a villain because Galactus doesn't look at things the way that we look at things, right? So remember, and I think the quote Ralph Ineson said was, an ant, people, Galactus views people essentially like a human views an ant, right? An ant's lifespan is about 8 months. A human lives about 80 years. Galactus is over 14 billion years old. He doesn't have the same understanding. A human doesn't look at an ant the same way and they look at another human being. So Galactus can't understand. Like he was humanoid at best, and that was 14 billion years ago. There's no way in the world he's gonna see things the way that we see things. You look down on an anthill. I don't think the average person looks, and you might have one or two people. If you're, let's say that you're someone that studies insects or things of that nature, sure. If you're an entomologist, that's different. But the average person is not just going to walk out there, especially if it's in your yard and they've built an anthill. You're like, man, it's trying to grow these flowers. These stupid ants
Yeah,
that grow on this hill right here in my way. I'm going to get some pesticide and get rid of them. You don't look at it that way, right?
yeah.
You don't look at those lives the same way. Even in the comic, he's notorious for telling the Silver Surfer. I mean, he tells him, if your own life depended upon stepping on an anthill, you would not hesitate.
Yeah.
That's the way he views it. You can't expect him to look at humans in the same way.
He's also to further that point in the film. What is he obsessed with? He's obsessed with getting Franklin Richards and passing that hunger on to him. He's done, man.
He's
He
tired.
doesn't want to be like this. Like, that would be like if I waited in line for pizza for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And I never got that pizza. And and then I realized, somebody walked up with a slice and gave it to me. Hey, well, friend behind me, you can wait in line now because someone just gave it to me. Franklin, he wanted to replace himself with Franklin. He wanted to move on and be free of the burden of having this hunger. I forget, there's a quote. He said it real good in the movie. I can't remember. But
Relentless hunger is what he said.
something like that. Yeah, relentless hunger. And it's like, yeah, I don't think any of us want to be relentlessly hungry, especially for worlds, for the energy source of a whole planet. Like that one scene, like when they first see him and the whole planet rips open, is just so epic in scope of like his actual powers.
He's just tired of doing this at this point. He's just tired of it. And so
And that
and I
child
get it.
had the power cosmic. So
And so it's and I would hope, and they haven't said it. I hope we would see Charlotte Ball again. I don't know how they'll write it, if they're going to say some kind of way where maybe they both went through that portal and maybe she went somewhere else. But I can assure you, if she went through that portal and landed where he is, there's a good chance
she's not
she's
coming
not
back.
coming back.
Yeah.
But now Galactus can absolutely get back. Don't think for a minute that he can't. He can move without that ship, folks. He
Yeah, he can.
absolutely
It's
can.
gonna take him a little bit longer,
But
but
you think in 14 billion years he hadn't seen the entire universe? Even Reed Richards in his grand plan said, I'm going to move him somewhere out where it'll take him a million years to
to
get
even
back
get
here.
to it.
So think about that. He knows that by that statement, he will eventually get back here. But I'll just keep him out for a million years. So that
Yeah.
tells you he knows the universe. He was there before this even version of the universe existed. He's already seen it. So he will eventually find his way back. So I enjoyed the movie. I look forward to the future of it. But Galactus was not a villain. I said it before. He was not. And just like I've always said, Magneto was right.
Magneto was right.
X-Men 97 told you that. Magneto was right. Galactus, that Galactus did nothing wrong. I'm just here to tell you
We
that.
just gotta be careful and make sure nobody throws a Mysterio Forever brick at us through the window.
Yep, for saying that. What did you think of our other summer blockbuster? Now, I have not seen it, truth be told. I've already disclosed that to Joe, but I am going to have both movies in 4K UHD. I'm going to buy them, I promise you.
I already
And,
pre-ordered them on
and
Amazon.
I'm going to do it. What did you think of Superman? Although I know I'm looking forward to the awesome job. I can't say the actor's name that was Mr. Terrific. Man, and Nathan Fillion,
As the Guy Gardner
thank
man.
you for bringing asshole Guy Gardner back. But what
Back.
did you think of Superman?
Man, this is the bit that's gonna trip you out. Is that the four of my favorite teams, and I'm not really a big Superman fan, but that movie took the cake for the blockbuster that blew my mind. I think it was just we have been. I might offend some people here, and I'm sorry. We have been starved for good DC movies for so long. And I'm looking up here at your Blue Beetle. I loved that movie so much, and that movie felt right. But not so many DC movies have felt right. Not since the Keaton Batman movie. Not since Christopher Reeve Superman, which, if we're talking bluntly, isn't even a perfect movie. There's some stuff about it that isn't so great. But we look back at those things with nostalgia. Now, I walked into this movie not the biggest Superman fan. What was I telling you before we went live? I haven't read a Marvel comic book in a little while. I've been reading all this DC stuff because that film, the way that if anybody watched the DC animated Justice League Unlimited, Batman the animated series, Superman animated, it feels like it was ripped out of that universe. The way the pacing of the film felt like reading a comic book. You pick up in the middle of an arc and you're seeing this story, the way that the story both opens and closes in a beautiful way. Everything from the casting to the music, the costume design. Did I say the costume design? Like the way that Mr. Terrific looked alone, it looked like he was ripped off the page. Same with Superman. Now, Hot Girl and Guy Gardner, I know their outfits were changed for the Lord Industries thing. Still, I love those portrayals of those characters. Guy Gardner was such a flippant ass, and I loved it. Nathan Fillion did such a great job. I think that because James Gunn, he's proved himself. I love the Guardians movies. I'm sure you do too.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if you watched the Suicide Squad movie or the Peacemaker show.
I saw both Suicide Squad movies, and I love me some Peacemaker.
Yeah, the new season's good. I guess that's what I'm doing when I get home tonight, watching the new episode. But James Gunn can write a good ensemble cast, is what I'm trying to get at. And that movie, even though it was Superman, that felt like my first adventure into this new DC universe. It felt well thought out. There was the comedic moments. There was the moments of heart. I shed multiple tears. There were some moments where I straight up started happy crying. It was a great film. I look forward to you seeing it and us being able to talk it, and then we'll watch it together at some time.
Absolutely,
it's a great film that I think if I went back and I saw The Batman 25 times in the theaters. You got your cup right there.
Yeah.
I don't have any of my collectibles from that around, but I love that movie. I saw it 25 times.
It gave us the Penguin.
Which is another great story. I loved that show. And is that Miles hanging out in the cup? And yeah, man, it was just great. And I'm excited to see with Peacemaker 2 kind of telling more of the story of the DCU, which is the new universe. And then Supergirl comes out next year. And then another Superman movie comes out the year after that.
Already, yep.
I'm fully invested as a non-super Superman fan. I am now a super Superman fan, and I'm excited to see where this universe goes. We're in good hands, Rob. I think we are.
I do. I trust James Gunn. He's earned it. I think he certainly has. You had to come through a lot because when he first started, remember, now I don't necessarily agree with how everything went down with Henry Cavill because listen, it's no shade on David Cornsweet. Looks like he does a great job, and I'm all for it. I like Christopher Reeve, but Henry Cavill, that's my dude right there. Love, and I loved Man of Steel. Still do. I stand 10 toes down on that. I loved Man of Steel the way that was told, and I think it was good. But James Gunn, he's earned it. Suicide Squad. I mean, the man knows how. Pete, the first season of Peacemaker, who would have ever thought? Like, don't get me wrong, John Cena was acting before, but he has found his role right there as Peacemaker. He certainly has. And nobody blends to me action, comedy, storytelling quite the way he does. If you look at the Guardians movies, it's proof of it.
Scooby Doo.
James Gunn, I mean, folks, you just have to. The Suicide Squad, he knows how he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So if anybody has earned it, I certainly think that he has earned the right to go out here and rebuild with the DCU, no DCEU. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does, man. I'm sure we're gonna have a Wonder Woman. If you're listening, James Gunn, I don't know what you would be, but if you're listening, hey now, Gal Gadot is easy on the eyes, brother. You might want to keep that one. I
I
love.
vote. I vote for Dua Lipa as Wonder Woman.
Hey, that's not a bad choice either.
Yeah.
But I love me some Gal Gadot. I thought she was great. And I know that he's now Lobo, but Jason Momoa was a good Aquaman. I do believe he was a good
Oh,
Aquaman.
he took that role and he owned it, man.
I
That's
see,
one of those things where it's like he was so good as Aquaman, but man, he's gonna kill Lobo. We already saw the set leaked photos. I'm not sure if you
I've
peeped them
seen some
yet.
of them.
Man, I saw that photo of him in the makeup and Lily as Supergirl, and I was like, or Millie as Supergirl, and I was like, man, this is like, if you had told me 10-year-old Joseph that this would be a thing, I wouldn't have believed you. And it's just stellar, man. It's great stuff.
It's going to be. I mean, in fact, we've got a spin-off coming with Green Lantern. I think Aaron Pierre is
We didn't
playing
even
him.
talk about that. We
Yeah,
got Aaron
yeah,
Pierre as
playing the
John.
John Stewart.
Man,
And then the rumor is you're gonna get more of Guy Gardner because you need him.
yeah.
Anybody that does a finger construct, middle finger construct, you've got to see it.
When that happened, my dad and I just started laughing so hard.
I mean, he's so full of himself. Yet the crazy part that makes it so funny in the little clips I've seen, because I said I hadn't seen the movie, is that this is who Guy Gardner is. I told him that earlier. It's who the guy is. Like when
Yeah.
he tells a kid, he's like, "Hey, Superman's not available, kid. I'm sorry. You
You
got
just
the
got an
upgrade, but you got the upgrade." Like he really believes that. Like as much as you might not want to think that, especially with that ridiculous bowl haircut he's always had, he believes it. He's not just telling you that. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm the upgrade." So
Wait, you've got a harem? Because if you do, you're the exactly kind of intergalactic threat the Green Lantern Corps sent me to protect Earth from.
right,
Like that kind of. He's a little
bowing
pretentious,
up.
man.
He's bowing up
he's
to
bowing
somebody
up.
that probably could take him out. Yet, it's this is Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
So I look forward to him. He'll be on that series. I would be shocked. They said you're gonna see James Gunn did say you're gonna see more of Mr. Terrific. I don't know if he's got his own show. He'll be appearing on that show. But I thought Mr. Terrific, the clips I saw, he was nailing it. I mean, just hilarious all the way around. I mean, I don't think I'll ever in my head ever envision where that a scene where it or time where you brought that dog, man, where that won't be
Man, that
where
scene.
that won't be funny.
And once you see the greater context of the film, you will laugh even more, dude. Because I talk about comedic timing. Like all of Mr. Terrific's moments happen in the perfect time, which I didn't expect to see all this great stuff from even Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane have their great moments in that film, which you wouldn't expect from a Superman movie, at least not in the past. It really is a treat.
And shout out to Nicholas Holt. He's a great actor. He's a great actor. Beast. He was Beast in X Men. He's
Yeah,
done
he
a
was.
lot of projects. He's really 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 good as X Men. I do trust in Kevin Feige. I do think they'll get Marvel will get this new boot of the
They
X
got the
Men.
Thunderbolts director handling that, so I think we'll be good.
And that's another thing. I'm glad you said that. I watched that. I didn't see it in the theater, but I
It's
saw it
streaming now.
streaming. But I have watched that movie like 5 times,
It's
and
good.
and I don't know. I don't know why it didn't do as. I don't know if what the reasoning is. Thunderbolts is a damn good movie. It
With a
really
positive
is.
message.
It's correct. Correct. I mean, tackling mental health like the way they did it. First of all, it takes balls to do that.
It
All
does.
right, and they did it, and they did it, and they succeeded at it. The Void was terrifying, no, without question. He
He
was
just turned the
terrifying.
whole story on its head once that started to show up.
I mean, he just. I mean, that they made a movie that it felt like, to his point, what he said earlier, it took me back because Marvel had a little bit of a lull, right? But this one kind of gave me the feeling like, okay, this is a good movie. I'm enjoying it. I was shocked, I mean, because I'd heard the movie was good, but then you speak of like, oh, it didn't do this much money, and but then I watched it and I was like, this is a good movie. This is a good Marvel movie. Like I loved a lot of those characters, really, really, and truthfully. Even the irredeemable John Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, even him. Like
Even I started to like him. I hated him in the TV show.
no, but even him and Bob. I mean, but when he became the Sentry, that fight scene where he fights them is absolutely at
The
the
Shield Talker.
it's awesome but terrifying at the same time because you want to see a human being get demasculated. Go watch this movie, and I challenge you to look at John Walker's face when his shield turns into a taco. When this man throws someone out of the window and pulls them back, like every power you could think, he's heating up guns, like he's at Bucky with when they changed everything and had that music score. He was taking off that jacket, and he's like, "All right," and he proceeds to get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
I mean, so man, the Century is something serious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they showed that
We better watch out for him in Secret Wars.
like he is something serious. So I mean, but I like I said, I thought Thunderbolts was a good movie. We've had some good movies this year.
Yeah, we have.
We have
we are so back.
we have eaten good. I guess one of the last things I'll talk about is speaking of eating good. I'll give a shout out, and you guys know I'm unbiased. I tell the truth, but I will give a shout out to Todd McFarlane because if there's anybody that's cooking right now,
It's Todd, man.
it's Todd.
He's going out with a bang.
He is. He's got now less than a year, and he is cooking. He's putting out some classic characters. He's putting out some new imaginings of classic characters. He's giving us characters we did not expect. Like I mean, that Red Lantern guy Gardner is amazing.
That's a great figure, man.
I mean, I mean, he's got a black mask Batman, which I don't know if you've seen
I
that.
saw that one get announced.
The
Yeah.
Scarecrow, man, yes.
The new Batgirl that just got announced too. That's pre-order for me. I can't find the pre-order link anywhere, but that's the class. That is the perfect Barbara Gordon Batgirl figure.
I keep
It took him
telling
a couple years,
but he did it.
He got it. It was perfect.
I'm telling y'all, I've said this a million times. I'll stand 10 toes down saying it. Y'all are going, the same people that are trashing him now, you guys are going to miss Todd McFarlane. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you because if you look at how he puts out figures, right? And on a consistent basis, because Joe and I were just talking about it. Nothing against Mattel, they're a good company. But if you look at Motu, for instance, good wave. I've got Skeletor right there.
Yeah.
Skelegod. But to Joe's point, they'll come out and say, "Man, that wave is awesome." You'll get to a year. Here's March. Here's a wave. Then they'll talk to you in September. Here's a wave.
But Todd, every Monday, here's a new figure.
Todd's just cranking them out.
I think he's doing that on purpose too, because come the license switches over, everyone's gonna be screaming, "Todd, Todd!"
They're gonna say, "Come back, come back." What did we have? I mean, since he had the license, he's always put out figures, and pretty consistently. I would say that he has been pretty consistent with what he puts out.
Right.
Some's hit or miss. Every figure hadn't been great, but he's given us. And I said this, Joe and I were talking about it. If you think Mattel is going to give you Captain Carrot or the Question,
you are in the wrong. You are dreaming.
Even though he's mainstream, I doubt you'll see a Captain Boomerang. You won't get an Icon. You probably won't get Commander Steel. I'd be shocked if you got a Green Lantern outside of Hal Jordan, maybe. So we're going to see. I mean, and all these variations of Batman. You're gonna get your regular Batman. You're probably not gonna get a Justice Lord Batman or a Hugo Strange's Batman or a Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna get all those stories that Todd's put out there, those variations, and I think you'll miss it. Now people will go 6 versus 7 inches. I don't have I'm not gonna say misfortune because I'll hurt people's feelings that had Mattel that had when they had the license before.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, right? So depends on how you look at it. I don't have the experience. I'll say that. I won't say misfortune or good luck, bad luck, because people feel both ways. I didn't have the experience of Mattel DC figures. When I started collecting them, it was Multiverse. I saw Black Manta, looked awesome. I just showed Joe the Page Puncher's Black Manta.
Puncher Black Manta.
The sketch looked awesome, So they say what did Janet say? You don't know what you got till it's gone.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, you will miss out on Todd McFarlane's figures. I think he's going to be. It's one of those things where sometimes something is more appreciated once it's gone and it's no longer around. You go,
What's gonna
oh
happen with
man,
those figures?
right now, and hey, I'll say the word, scalpers have already started their figures with some of these on there. You can look at some of them now online. Captain Carrot goes for a nice price. The question I talked about goes for a nice
That
price.
figure was
Kingdom Come Superman is now the actual the one from the Dark Knight Returns Superman, that body, he's over $100.
I didn't know that figure was that high.
He goes for $100. Now the green variant, which I don't know why anybody would want that, because I remember I said I tell the truth, Todd. Sometimes your choices are odd. I don't know why you gave us that Kryptonite six Superman version,
Yeah,
but he goes for like what's regular retail, but that one is going for over $100.
yeah.
Um, but I say that to say that folks, you will miss out. You will miss the figures that you missed out on. Just start googling them now. If there's a figure you want,
The price will be climbing up.
I'm not telling anybody what to do with their money. We talked about this earlier. But if there's a figure you see that you want, go get it. Go get it now.
There's not always gonna be one more slice of pizza left.
Go get it. You heard what he said. Go get it now. Because the one thing I hate, and this is something I don't do, if I miss out on something, I'm not gonna come out here and complain about it and say, "Oh, it's Todd McFarlane." It's not Todd McFarlane's fault. I knew he was going away from that license. I know that. You know that. Your aunt that doesn't collect figures knows that. So I can't be mad at Todd if I can't go get a figure. I know that he's going out, and this is what's happening. So if I see something, I need to go out and get it. So folks with figures, remember that. That's not something I would tell, like when I spoke of like the tips I'd tell a new collector, but I guess in theory I could. If you see something, to Joe's point, that you like, you love, you want, go out and get it. I mean, and I'm not, and I know you're gonna say, "Oh, FOMO." No, no, I'm not telling you FOMO. I'm telling you, if you legitimately, let's say you hadn't seen a review from Joe or me or Shartimus or Kyle Peterson or whoever that you follow, right? Even if you hadn't seen a review of it, if that figure resonates with you and you want it, go out and get it because you're not competing with anybody else. At the end of the day, I tell people in every review, this is just an opinion of a bald guy on the internet. I say it in every
That's what you
video
said.
to thank y'all for checking out a bald guy on the internet again today. But I'm telling you that those figures aren't going to be on my shelf. They're not going to be in my house. They're not going to be in my collection. They're going to be in yours. So if it works for you, it makes you happy. It's your disposable income. Buy what you like. I'm not here. This hobby. That's why I give Sideshow credit. The name that not a lot of people don't know that where their name came from is that's their mantra. Let your geek side show.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch their commercial, they tell the truth. Our culture and our community has the ability to bring diverse bands of people together like no other.
And when you go to conventions, that's a testament to it. Like, look at all the people that love this stuff from every walk of life, from every background, every skin color, everything. Everybody looks different, but what do we all love?
This culture, this
This
hobby.
culture, this hobby, the excitement. But I could get to rapping with you about Street Fighter stuff when I don't really like Street Fighter maybe as much as you do, but I appreciate it and I can sit here and look at the sculpts and enjoy them, the posability, and then we can get to the further part where we start talking about Marvel versus Capcom and getting our figures all posed up. All of us can connect over this hobby, regardless of, oh well, he's into Star Wars, well he doesn't want to talk to us, but we all collect hot toys. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an interconnectivity to this hobby that a lot of hobbies don't have, and that's something we should be grateful for because there's always an opportunity to make a new friend, to see another friendly face, and to you never know what you'll find when you're out there. You might go figure hunting and make a new friend, and that's something cool.
Those are big facts, and it's inclusive, man. Everybody is welcome in this hobby. That's why I say I don't judge. I know right now the videos are out where ladies are saying you men would rather collect action figures than date.
You saw that on Facebook too?
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that as well.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna jump out on the ledge and say that's 100% true. But in some of y'all's cases, yeah, it's possibly true. But and I can't speak for those men, right? That may be fit into that category.
Yeah.
But what I can say is I'm gonna choose peace every time.
Yeah.
over anything else. And if action figure collecting brings me peace and you don't, you lose. it's it's pretty simple.
What's gonna stay, me or the Marvel Legends?
So ladies, as I said that in this last video, I told you, hey, you know from the get go if you've watched and you, I mean, because I'm not hiding it from you. If you know that I'm in this hobby and I collect, I'm married to this hobby, and you're like, you know what, I just can't deal with a guy that collects action figures or Funko Pops or diecast cars or plays video games. Guess what? I'm not your guy.
Yeah,
It's
there's plenty of folks that don't do it.
plenty of fish in the ocean, and it's okay. But don't look down on us because we have a hobby that's not hurting you. Because me having this Maximum Hulk right here does nothing to hurt you. So why in the world would you look down or judge me for doing a hobby that's safe and not hurting anybody? I don't know why you would. People do it, but you shouldn't. Let the collector and I think it's I'm a big fan. Respect the hobby, folks. Respect the culture.
Yeah.
That's all I ask,
That
man.
goes for everything.
With
There's
everything in
culture,
life.
there's hobbies that you and I don't participate in, but we're not here bashing them on the internet. We're
Nope.
just talking about what we like, man. We're not hurting nobody doing it.
Nope. I mean, I got guys that go out here and say, well, I just like to collect car rims. Cool. That's
That's your
not my
thing.
experience. That's your thing. God bless you, man. You're not hurting me by collecting car rims. I've got a friend that has like 500 or more Funko Pops. That's his thing. He's not hurting anybody. I got another one that has thousands of GI Joes. Not hurting anybody.
Yep.
That's your disposable income. To his point, that's your business. It's in your house. It's your life. So I would just say, folks, just don't look down. Don't and pay no attention to when you read these polls like what's the most unattractive hobby and like men that collect things and play video games. Okay, man, if that's the case, man, I'm cool being ugly. It's not gonna change anything.
I saw that grid too. How does that really factor into our own physical attractiveness? I don't think
Well,
you know.
according to them, those people, it absolutely does. It goes in there and it bothers them. But folks, look, at the end of the day, like what you like. I'm not judging you. Joe's not judging you. We're all doing the same thing.
We encourage you,
We encourage you. So, folks, I want to thank Joe for stopping by
man.
and helping me to
Thank you for
catch
having me on the show, man.
for catching a fade, because that's what we do here. We catch a fade. Join us next week, and be looking out because there'll be videos all the time. So remember, as I always say in every video, until we are fortunate enough to meet again, please continue to stay collecting. Please continue to stay tuned. And above all, on behalf of myself, Joe, Dragon Man, Maximum Hulk, and the Thing, please continue to stay great.
We'll see y'all next time.
Peace